Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and I'm back again with another really interesting coding interview question video. This time guys, we are going to solve question number 2000 reverse prefix of word. So without wasting any time further, let's get started with the problem statement. So guys, we are given a zero index string called as word and we are given a character called as ch. And by zero index we mean that if this is my string, then the index of the first ever character is going to be starting at 0. Okay. Now what we have to do here guys, that we have to reverse this segment of the string starting from the index 0 and ending at the index of the character ch. Okay, so you can see here that the ch character is d and we have to actually reverse this string starting from 0 until the first occurrence of d. So the first occurrence of d is at index 3. So these four letters we have to basically reverse, and once you reverse these four letters they become DCBA from ABCD, and then you just add the rest of the word EFD to it and that becomes your output. Okay. And the example 2 is also actually similar, but let's look at example 3. So in this case guys, when you have a word and the character ch actually doesn't exist in it, you just return the word itself. Okay. And the constraints are also pretty straightforward guys. The word length goes from 1 to 250. Word only has lowercase English letters and ch also is a lowercase English letters. Okay. So now that we are clear with the problem statement, now let's jump into the solution part. So the first thing is very clear in this problem statement guys, that we know the character ch but we actually do not know what is the index of this character ch. So in this case guys, you can see that we know that we have to reverse from a or 0th index until d, but we actually know the index of the a, which is 0, but we don't know the index of d, which in this case is 3, right? So the first point is actually to find the index of character ch, and to do that we have to run a loop to traverse the string. Okay, so either you can run a loop to traverse the string, or you can also use some built-in methods like index of to actually find out the index of that character in a string. Okay, but basically that's the first step that we have to do. Okay, now once you have the index of the character, what we can do is rule out the one condition, that if that character doesn't exist in the word, then you just return the word itself, right? So if let's call this index. So if index is or let's say if ch index is not present, then return word. Okay, so after step 1 and 2 we will be very clear that either we want to return the whole word, or do we actually want to reverse the word. Okay, now let's come to step 3, which is the most important step. In this step guys, we actually know the portion of the word that we want to reverse. Okay, let's say the starting index from where we want to start reversing is actually 0, because my string is 0 index string, right? And now we also know the ending of the word that or ending of the portion of the word that we want to reverse. So let's say after the first step we also know the value of end. Okay, so in this case, let's say if my example is a b c d f d, so if this is my example, then I know at this step 3 that end is actually equals to 3 and starting is actually equals to 0. Okay, so at this point of time I know from where I have to swap, from where I have to reverse. Okay, now comes to step 4. Now this step 4 is really important guys, because here we are going to use a approach called as two-pointer approach to reverse our string. Okay, so this is going to be our two-pointer approach. Now how the two-pointer approach is going to work guys, what we are going to do, we are going to run a loop until start is actually lesser than end. So you can see that at this point of time my start is 0 and my end is 3, right? So we are going to run a loop until start is less than end. So obviously my loop is going to start, And when my loop is going to start, what I'm going to do is I am going to swap my starting character with my ending character. So let's say if this is the string of my interest, and out of this string also A, B, C, D, this is the portion of the string that I want to reverse. At the first iteration, my start is at 0th position, my end is at 3rd position. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to swap start and end. Now once I swap start and end, you can see that A and D are going to be swapped, and now my string will become equal to B, B, C, A. Okay. And once you are done with this iteration, you are going to increment your start and you are going to decrement your end. And this is going to actually make start equals to 1 and end is going to be 2. Now let's come to this next iteration. At this next iteration also, we are going to now swap again starting character and ending character. And once you swap them, then you can see that because my start was 1, the start was at this character B and end was at this character C. So basically B and C are going to be swapped together and we will have D, C, B, A. Now again I'm going to increment the start and I'm going to decrement the end. And now at this point my start will actually become 2 and my end will actually become 1. Okay, because my start is now greater than end, this loop is going to break. Okay, because we are only running the loop until start is less than end. So because now start is greater than end, it basically means that we have now reversed the whole string and now we can break the loop. So now we are at this position when my string is actually reversed. So this is my reverse string, that is DCBA. And what is going to be my result, guys? My result is actually going to be this. So because we are going to do a in place reverse string, so automatically only this portion of the string will be reversed and rest of the string will just be trailing behind it, which is EFD. Now if you see that this output actually is matching our results, so that is what we are going to return. Okay, so we'll just return the result. Okay, now I hope you guys are now clear with the 2-pointer approach and how we are going to use it. So now it's the time to implement it. Okay, okay, now let me just remove this code. Now the first thing first, guys, that we are going to run a loop to find out if a character ch is actually present inside the word. Okay, so this is the just a for loop in Java. I'm running it until the character length of word. Now in Java there is a function called as char at. So at every ith character I am checking if that ith character is equals to ch. If it is equals to ch, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually take that ith index, store it into a variable. Okay, now which variable I'm going to store it into? So I didn't declare my 2 variables, so that's my bad. So I need to have 2 variables. One is called as end and one is going to called as start. So obviously my start index is by default 0, but my end index is going to be -1, -1. And once I find my character ch, I am going to assign the index of that character ch to my end index, and then I'm just going to break this loop. Okay, so now we are at that step where we actually know if character ch exists into my word, and if it does, which index it actually exists. So at this point of time, we can just take this condition that if end is lesser than 0, that means we were not able to find ch, we just return the word. Okay, and now we come to the last and the most interesting part where we actually know that the character ch is present. So now we have to do an in place replacement of the word array to actually have the reverse portion of the word in it. So for that, in Java, first of all, we have to convert our word into a character array. Okay, so now this 2char array is the function to convert our word into a character array. We would also need a temp character to actually do the swapping for us. So that's the temp character. Now we are going to run a loop until starting is lesser than ending. Okay, or start is less than end. So once start is less than end, we are going to start swapping. Okay, and to swap it, first of all we will store the character at the start position into 10. Then we will assign the character at start position to the character at end position, and finally we will assign the temp character to the ending character, and this is going to just swap it. Once you have swapped it, you can just increment the start and you can decrement the end. And once this whole while array is actually completed, your character array, so your my string character array, is actually having the portion of the word swapped, portion of the word reversed. Now I can just use this array, convert it into a string and return. Okay, so just return new string str array. Okay, now I'm going to run this code. Let's see if this works for our all our test cases. And there you go, guys. You can see that it is accepted, and you can see that this submission also is successful. Okay, now let's jump to the time complexity for this solution. So you can see, guys, that there are multiple loops in it, and we are also using certain Java functions. But if you just see the first loop, which is to find out the index of the character, this loop itself is taking order of n time complexity, because there is a possibility that the character ch is at the end of the length of the word. Okay, and this if statement is just returning, so I would just mark it as order of 1. Now we see that there is another function that's being used here, which is toChar array. Now because this is a Java function and it is actually taking your string and converting it into an array, and keeping in mind that my string is having n characters, I would also say that this function is also taking order of n time. And then we have got our two pointer approach, right? Now this two pointer approach is really interesting. You can see that actually if there are n elements in a array, this while loop is going to take half of the time, right? Because we are moving the pointers together. We are moving two pointers together. So that's why this while loop will actually take order of n by 2. Okay, so that is going to be the time complexity for this while array. And finally we are returning a new string. Okay, so you can see here, guys, that we have got one for loop with order of n, one function with order of n, and then another while loop with order of n by 2. So by the big O notation, I would say this is the order of n time complexity. Now coming to the space complexity, guys, you can see that there are two different memory items that we have produced. First of all, we have produced a new character array. So with time complexity order of n, the space complexity for that will also be order of n. And then you can see that I'm actually creating a new string, which is also another space complexity of order of n, and then I am returning it. Okay, so there are two strings, or one string and one array being created. So in a nutshell, I will say that the space complexity is also order of n. But however, this does solve this method, guys, and it does gives us all our submissions as green. So I would actually go with this method. If you guys have any feedback, any suggestions for this particular problem, please feel free to write down in the comment section below. It will help others to learn as well. And if you guys did like this video and you learned something from it, then please do not forget to like this video and share this video with your friends. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, guys, then please do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for future notifications of more such programming and coding related videos. I will see you guys in the next video, guys. Until then, take care and bye bye.